Get ready, cause it's about time for you to speak your mind. Secret Girls Club. Secret Girls Club. Super Secret Girls Club.
Hello, hello, hello.
Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Wednesday. How is your guys' Wednesday going?
It's going good.
Yeah? You started with Mondo. You had a crazy Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that Mando was today. So, hooray me. You guys get to see my stream of that later today.
Yeah.
I also was attacked by allergies this morning, like crazy. So it's getting better outside. That's what it means.
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys watched the live Mandalorian.
Mondo
It's fine.
subs.
You know what you're talking about. If you guys were there live watching and wondering why Suraj was there, it's because he was being attacked by allergy reactions.
My face was leaking out of every hole.
And he forgot.
And I forgot.
Yeah, thank you so much, QPL. Thank you so much, Paradox Hamersha, for subscribing. But yeah, how's your week? And
my week?
Yeah.
My whole week?
The half a week that we've been here so far.
Well, first of all, I just want to acknowledge that we have March.
Yes.
Technically, spring is here.
Spring is here.
I'm very excited. But I didn't really... Oh, I had people over at the house yesterday.
You did?
Which I didn't expect.
Oh, that's always fun.
Chris's sister and mom came over. And I literally just finished like putting things away.
Yeah.
Because I always get like really anxious when there's too much clutter around me.
Makes sense.
So I literally got home from work and the first thing I did just like put things away. It's like I need to put things away before I do anything else. And as soon as I like put the last thing away, like they knocked on the door and I was like,
Nice.
all right, well at least I did that.
At least it's clean. Yeah, and Chris didn't tell you that was gonna happen, so of course not. We're like, all right, surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime we have people over, it's like a scramble. I have to detox the cat bathroom. It is just fucked in there. Like everything possible to clean it up. Corey had a friend over this weekend, so guests used the guest bathroom, so I try to just
God.
The guest bathroom, that's the cat's bathroom right now.
Yeah, we put like chemicals down. I got the walls. I'm not the fucking ceiling.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
You gotta do that sometimes.
Yeah, it sounds like I had a crazy eventful days, but yeah.
How was your morning, Navi?
The morning wasn't bad. I haven't bringing Nico to the work for a while. Like last week, I didn't have to, so today I was like, okay, I will. So that was everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But I could used 5 minutes. Like, okay, it worked. But I got here, there weren't that many people, so it's like, okay, I can settle her. And she's so excited. She's way too excited today, and I think it's because she
hasn't seen people in a while.
She hasn't seen people. Yeah. And she was just used to, right? Like going on a walk and be like, oh, we're gonna go to work. And I was like, oh, it's not happening. So she would keep looking at me like, now? Every time I put her chain away, we're like, now? I was like, no, putting your stuff away. Calm down.
We should get the the Houdini fence that you have.
Oh,
we
yeah?
should, section off an area of our yard or something for that.
Yeah.
Just leave, because then, we have a lot of doggos here. Chester and Nisa are getting along though now.
Good.
So
yeah,
they
were actually
at least
playing
be in the same area.
Yeah, we have a lot of dogs with studio, which sometimes it's good and bad. It's good when we need some kind of therapy, but it's bad when we need to work. Then I was like, okay, Nico, calm down, and I will just go to downstairs, sleep, so I can work.
Can I give one update? Thank you for having me on SSGC. By the way, we're talking about titty. Attack on titty.
We're gonna
it's gonna
talk
be
about
great.
titties.
I just wanted to give an update on my weekend. I've been playing D&D.
Oh yeah.
Puffy, JJ, Mickey, Pat, and Obed.
Nice.
And we
big group.
Yeah.
Is it a sausage
it's
quest?
It's a sausage quest. But no, it's anyone could have joined. It's just we had the free time.
We were not told, so nobody can join.
It's like 3.5 hours per session, minimum. So we're this is like our 4th or 5th one, and we found a wild owl bear. It's like a creature.
Owl bear.
What?
We
So it's
found
a
an owl
bear that's shaped like owl, or is it owl
It's
shaped
like
like
a
bear?
Bear that's like an owl. It's on the ground.
Does it fly?
I think,
Okay.
but we were it was attacking us, but then I got on top of it and I managed to tame it because my character is good with animal handling.
Nice.
There was a whistle, I blew it, and then it tamed and it calmed down and it was all loving.
Okay.
And then Pat's turn came and he was like, all right, I sneak up to the owlbear and shank it in the jugular. And I'm like, wait, why? And then all of us were like, no, I stopped Pat. I bat Pat's hand away. And then he's still like, we have to kill it. It's a wild beast. like, Pat, it's calm now. It's like, what if it turns on us? I'm like, I think we might need it.
I stopped Pat.
Basically, all our characters, we almost killed Pat's character because he was not backing down. He's like, we're killing this defenseless animal.
Oh.
I can see him being Attack on Titan, being like, it's fine, let's kill him. He can turn. It's like, but no.
yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, like Suraj said, we're gonna talk about Attack on Titan. We're gonna recap the whole show from beginning, kind of just summarizing the events now that we know what we know and going from there.
Strap in, folks.
This will
Strap
be
in.
very useful for me.
Yeah.
Because I have spent the last 4 days speed running through a Star Wars book, even though I should have been focusing on Attack on Titan. And
Oh,
so
God.
I am like completely, my brain is devoid of any Attack on Titan information, and I just need to spend the last 3 days
And bring
starting
it all
today,
Yeah.
just getting it back in.
Dude, my last 3 weeks have been Attack on Titan. It's like, I need to rewatch it. Literally saw the finale of last season this morning. I had not seen it. I just saw the finale
you
for
missed
the
it?
season 4 because
When
we didn't
we-
watch it together. I didn't watch it with the
Oh.
Normies. So then if I don't
Oh,
watch
yeah.
something with
That's where you
Normies, I don't
actually
watch
see
it.
his
Full form.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just me, but
Yeah.
rewatching it, I feel like I felt so stupid when I was first watching it because now rewatching was like, oh, makes total sense. Why was I so confused
Yeah.
on all of it?
That happens, but I mean, it's like that's part of the reactions. I feel like, you know, sometimes
You just don't know
you look,
information.
you look stupid, but like you watch it a second time and it's just like, oh.
That makes so much sense. But that's considering the show, there was so much information that we didn't know because Aaron and their team didn't know, and now we know by end of it. So anybody who haven't seen Attack on Titan, heads up, spoilers. It's not gonna be spoiler free. There's gonna be spoilers from beginning. Have a way for us to structure this conversation. It was really difficult how to structure this conversation. Either we do it from 2,000 years when Ymir first got her powers, or from the fall of Wall Maria. And I think we're gonna start with the fall of Wall Maria because apparently we still don't know everything, according to Ketty.
Now you guys don't know shit.
Yeah, so
That's it. No matter where you're at in Attack on
we don't
Titan,
know shit.
like with the dub crew, no matter what point they're at, Mickey, you guys were like, y'all don't know shit. Even like they know the rumbling just happened. Y'all don't know shit. They know.
And we
It's a
have,
great show.
Yeah, we have Suraj here because he's been sitting with dub crew.
Yes.
So we have 2 crews watching, sub and dub. Sadly, we're not gonna be able to put them together because I think they're a few episodes behind now, right? Only a couple.
Yeah, they're only 6 episodes.
So they
behind.
should be able to start
After
right
tomorrow,
away.
3 episodes. Yeah, they'll pretty much. I think this final part is only part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Part 3 is only part 1 and part 2.
That's it.
Yes.
So
Is it done after that?
yeah,
Yes.
by the time that next part comes later this year, that crew will definitely be caught up.
Honestly,
They'll
I
have to
will
wait,
say, just FYI, I did read the last 2 books, so I'm familiar with what happens. And I
There's
will
2
say that I'm not. Yes, there's 2 volumes
Oh my
that they're
God.
adapting. So I'm assuming that the first half is going to be volume 34, 33, and the second one's going to be 34. I don't see how they're going to do it because there's a lot that happens, and I just don't understand that they decided to take the route of a long movie length part
How do you like
instead
an hour,
of like an
but-
episodic release, because I'm baffled by the decision. I don't know how you guys feel if you've read it, but I'm very curious how they're gonna handle it, but I'm concerned.
That'd be good to know. Like, yeah, just see how it goes. Maybe, they have fooled us before that this is final, and it's not the final.
If they no, after that second part comes later this year, that better be the end. I'm gonna be upset. This we have not read the manga. No, I have not.
Me and Suraj haven't, so we are strictly going with the anime. So let's talk about the fall of Wall Maria. At that point, that's when we literally start with Colossal Titan with over the wall of Maria, just looking over, and Aaron's like, as we know, the humanity has fallen. It's like, okay.
Can I just say that is also like the first anime I ever watched.
Oh yeah,
that episode, and I was like, okay.
dude,
Give
it's
me
the
more.
best anime. Yeah,
It's the best. It's so over the top. My favorite, I remember like distinctly when It was just like, what did you smear on my back?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
My
Just like faith in
not my faith in
humanity.
others. Or, yeah, what is that?
I love it.
So dramatic.
John. But yeah, Wall of Maria. So we know at that point what we know now, there's Marlians and Parody. So Marlians had sent 4 warriors, Marcel, Reiner, Barthold, and Annie. Marcel gets eaten by Annie.
Mhm.
Not
Emir.
Annie, sorry, Emir. And Emir just goes off. I guess she eats Marcel and just goes off. Then it's the 3 warriors who come over and attack the Wall of Maria. That's when Colossal attacks. Colossal and Reiner, Annie somehow in the scuffles get through. So that whole thing happens. That's if I have to tell anybody to watch anime, it's going to be Attack on Titan, like, because the way it opens up, it's crazy. And that Smiling Titan, and we know who the Smiling Titan is, who kills Aaron's mom, right? That happens to
It's Dina.
So it happens to be Aaron's
Grandmother.
stepmom, because Grisha's old wife.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Dina, Zeke's mom.
Zeke's mom. So Zeke's mom.
Stepmom,
So
yeah.
stepmom or previous mom.
Right.
I don't know.
Former mother.
Former
Stepmom eats mother.
It's mother.
No? Okay, sorry.
God.
It could possibly
Mom
be.
and stepmom.
Battled it out, and mom definitely gets eaten.
Stepmom destroys
Anyway.
mom. Okay. So
Yeah.
we're done.
So that whole thing happens. And yeah, so meanwhile, we find out Grisha is running off to Reese's chapel to have Frida stops the Titan happening, right? That's all thing is happening at the same time that we know now. You guys can jump in anytime because I will continue talking.
Yeah, and tell us what you mean by we won't get the hour-long special, because I don't know what that means.
Oh no, Mark the Dark 54 sucks that we won't get the hour.
America doesn't get it? Because we need to know. Because information is hard to find these days on
Yeah.
when that thing's going to come.
And if you guys are wondering, we are only looking at Twitch chat. So if you're on YouTube, which apparently is working fine, and Twitch is super laggy, sadly we are now watching YouTube chat. So pick your person.
We need to tell people to get off Wi-Fi. But yeah, go on. While Maria is falling.
Yeah.
You see so many different perspectives rewatching this. Any mark of a good show, like Lost, is when you rewatch it
And
through a
the whole
different
thing
lens,
happens.
and everything is differently interpreted
Yeah.
because you know why the wall's being attacked and everything.
Yeah,
It's-
and then I mean it kind of makes sense why they attacked it at that point. So like at that happening, then Grisha, who came from behind the walls, outside the walls actually, who's actually Henri Marlian? No, he's not Henri Marlian.
No, he's Eldian still.
He's an
He's
Eldian.
Eldian scum.
He's exiled. Yeah. So we find out that he is at Reese Chapel trying to get Frida because his goal was to get Founding Titan. But he wasn't gonna do it, right? You're trying to figure out if you say something or not, because we know from the Zeke's. I don't know. Should we continue talking? Should we talk about it? Do you remember like Zeke shows all the memories to Eren, and then Eren's the one who forces Grisha to kill.
Yeah,
Reese's,
of course. We just saw that.
we just
in the dub group.
yeah. So that's we find out that Eren kind of forces him to do it, but
Yeah.
as far as we know, Grisha kills Reese's whole family and takes on Frida and go on. But that's when Eren decides he wants to be a scout, finally, and then Mikasa just goes along with it.
To protect him.
You know what's funny? Like, I loved Mikasa when I was starting, but rewatching it, I was not sure if I was a big fan of Mikasa.
She's a little bit of a simp, but I
She
mean,
is.
I still like her. She's got the raw skill. I think that's why we liked her when we first watched.
But
I
she
still
just-
like her, but
she's always like, stay with me, Eren. I'm the one who can protect you. It's like, stop it. Like,
Yeah.
he needs to learn.
Yeah.
she was right though. The motherfucker got his leg eaten in the first real battle they had after. I know we're skipping there a little.
Oh no,
bit,
we can
episode
continue
5-ish.
going. No.
So
This is
after
just
the
the
after the
outline.
fall, he joins the scouts. Mikasa goes with him. The training happens.
Training
with
happens.
Shadis purposely messes up his equipment.
Yeah.
We find out later. Eren still persists, and
Shadis know who Grisha was, so he was like, your son.
yeah, he liked Carla. He
He
liked
ca-
his mom.
Oh yeah, he liked Carla.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, there's so much. Like, and then Reiner and Barthold. Reiner was actually who helped Eren to be able to do the ODM gear, which is weird because like Reiner came in as a spy to learn about the odium gear, but then he was like, I know it, now let me tell you, Eren, how to do this. And then they end up fighting. I can't, like, rewatching it all, just seeing their friendship develop and seeing how Reiner really thought he was a scout. And then going back and forth between warrior and scout. And he's like, no, I'm a scout. It's like, oh, poor Reiner.
Reiner's a really good character.
He's a good character.
Enjoy him a lot, even though I didn't like him at first.
No? When did you not like him? Like at
it,
all?
Like, you know, when I felt betrayed, you know, when
that's true.
like everything went down on the wall. I was like, oh, you guys, really? Like Bertold and Reiner, I was just like so mad at them, and Annie as well.
Yeah.
But after watching, like, you know, getting to know the aliens on like the mainland and how they live and where Reiner actually came from, made me like understand
Sympathize
how
with
he
him.
ended up in a situation. And
Yeah.
It's sad. It's a very sad story.
It is very, it's a no-win scenario, I feel like. When you go down to the big debate on which side you should be taking. Obviously, the non-genocide side.
I'm confused about your group, guys, about something.
Let's go
for it.
Because I asked Rana, after I found out that they're like super Jaegerists, I asked Rana what she thought about Flock. And she said that she hates Flock. I'm like, you are Flock.
They're back and forth on Flock a little bit. Like sometimes, like they'll be like, "Oh, Flock," and then he'll say something that they really agree with, and they're like, "Exactly, Flock, exactly." They're a little wishy-washy sometimes. I feel like their opinion changes episode to episode as the crazy shit gets revealed. But
so they just like Eren.
They like
but
Eren.
They hate Flock.
They are determined on the Marley effed with us first, so now we're effing with them. And I think in context it's hard to, when we follow a certain side of the story, it's hard for some people to grasp and understand that other perspective. In Last of Us 2 video game, I'm not going to spoil you, there is some of that where we see the enemy's side, and that's partly the reason.
The zombies?
No, another human faction.
When we see zombies side, the clickers make sense.
Yeah, you're like, I understand the clickers' viewpoint. No, it's the enemy faction. But that game was very polarizing because some people were just like, I don't want to see this. Fuck the enemy's perspective. No, we were following our characters. And so it's, when you do that, it either gives or it doesn't. And I think the dub group is the people that are like, we followed Eren through this. It doesn't matter that Eldians were committing atrocities over 100 years ago. You know what I mean? Which was still recent, but
2,000 years actually, isn't it?
So 2,000 years is when Ymir and the Titans showed up, but it had only been 100 years since the walls were erected, and like the Marleyans had the upper hand against the Eldians. So those atrocities only happened about a little over 100 years ago. In the rest of the world's mind frame, they didn't know all the memories were wiped for the people in the walls. So like, you know, we're like, why did you attack them?
Yeah,
they didn't know, but they didn't know that they didn't know.
So
you know what I mean?
Let's talk about that one. Like, so I think that was gonna be my question. Like, who, if we had followed, we followed Eren, so we are with Eren. Let's say we followed the warriors. We followed them in Marleyan. We know, okay, all the warriors, what they're trying to do, they're being honoring Marlin, and they went on this mission. So we're following Reiner and Berthold. They broke the wall, and now they're spies within it. Would that have made us change? Would that have made us sympathize with them, knowing that they're also being fed propaganda?
I mean, I personally sympathize with them both.
Yeah.
But I don't sympathize with the Marley.
Oh yeah, oh no,
because,
for sure. But sympathizing with Reiner and Berthold while they were there and be like, oh
yeah,
yes,
absolutely. No, I definitely sympathize with them. Like I said, like at the beginning, and I think that's how we were supposed to enjoy the story, where you're like, don't like them.
Yeah,
you know, like
the outside,
they're
the Titans,
others,
and they're the others. But then, as you learn more about them, you'll start to understand, and then you learn that they're like one and the same, and they're in the same fucked up situation, more or less. And you're just,
if I had started it from the other perspective, I think I still would have sided with the parody people, because they didn't know. They were attacked first. Sure, they committed atrocities over 100 years ago, which isn't that long,
but they don't know.
For Reiner, even for Reiner's mom and dad, and possibly even their grandparents, because we're going back 100 years generation, they weren't being affected by the people within the walls. Yeah, the people within the walls did crazy messed up stuff and maybe would have to be dealt with, but you could have sent a letter first or something. You could have done some other way to approach that than just like, we're attacking straight up. If I would have seen Reiner's grandfather or great-grandfather being affected by the Eldian suppression, I would be more inclined to be with Marley's perspective on things. But I didn't see that. 100 years had passed, and they had been training for this attack, essentially.
So what we know, like, the reason why So Marlians wanted a founding titan because they were afraid the rumbling would happen. Yeah. Which is a fair scare. But because it hadn't happened, my always question was, just leave them alone. Like, it hasn't happened. You're poking the bear. If you're gonna poke the bear's gonna come after you. Like, but just leave the bear.
Like, they're also exacerbating the problem of titans by
throwing titans over the wall. Yeah. Which was interesting to find out. It's like, oh, so like that's how. So all of those are people. All those are actual elderly people.
Was the most painful revelation. Honestly, that just sucked.
Yeah, they're all people.
I love Ulfway. Yeah, the dub group is quite the weird bunch compared to the OG. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I'm glad it's different though. It's because also, just as an aside, some people just watch shows to watch shows. They don't want to get into the big philosophical debate.
But this one you kind of have to. Like, some things you have to.
Like, it just depends, right? I don't know. Like, when
I will watch Seinfeld, not worry about
it. When I watch you, I don't want to talk about the intricacies about like stalkers in today's society. Like, I'll brush up upon it. Like, it's terrible. There are toxic men like that. I'm just laughing at Joe's stupid ass shenanigans. You know what I mean? I just want to watch the show. So, in a way, I can see why fans are disappointed that the dub group doesn't get into it.
Yeah.
But it's all someone's cup of tea, you know.
But also, it's 3 people who would get into it. They're like, Aaron! Like, yeah. All right, I'm just gonna see it like, all right, so 5 years later, the scouts join. Obviously, they graduate, and as soon as they graduate, Colossal Titans comes back again. And that's when we find out that Aaron is a Titan himself. That was a whole... I remember Aaron being eaten. I was like, this is it? This is Game of Thrones?
I know.
Main guy's dead?
Game of Thrones, this is it. They're killing him.
Like, they're killing him. Like, that's it. And Armin just, like, freezes, which makes sense. It's first fight.
Blood-curdling screams. Aaron's getting swallowed.
Actually, yesterday on my lunch break, I went for a walk, so I found this one video essay that was like talking about that specific moment, and like when they replayed it, I was laughing so much. The scream was so much.
It was so much screaming.
Then the next episode starts with like Mikasa and a Mikasa flashback, and you're like, oh, now she's the main character.
Yeah,
because Aaron's dead.
Like, Aaron's dead. That's it. And then we also find out, like, Marco. So Marco overhears Reiner.
Marco, dude.
Poor Marco.
We see him die like 18 times throughout. It's so funny.
He just sadly overhears Burnhole and Reiner, and then he tries to avoid it. He was like, oh, you guys are just joking. Let's go on. It's like, oh my God, Marco.
Bro, I would have just showed up there, pretending like I didn't hear what they said.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys talking about over here? Let's go.
Yeah, but exactly. But he was like, what are you talking about? You a Titan? You mean like this? And then like, oh, you're just joking. Don't say that, Marco, and then say you're joking and leave.
I guess the information they had at the time, they had no idea humans could even transform into Titans. So what he heard sounded like straight preposterous. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just mythical.
It will take you a while to also be like, wait a minute, Titans can turn into humans. Not only that, we have spies among us that are our friends. Yeah, that would be a lot for Marco.
It was the strangest reveal.
It was strangest reveal both times. It was weird. So like Marco, obviously Annie and them, Annie takes him Marco's odium gear, leaves them to a Titan, does that. Aaron becomes Titan. And also Mikasa kind of goes a little idiotic. Like, she's like, we can go do this. We can go up to this support place where they can refill their gas, not realizing the people behind them getting killed because she just wanted to just go find... Like, she was just blinded by the Aaron was dead.
Always.
Yeah, she was running out of gas.
Yeah, she was running out of gas. But yeah, Aaron comes through. Aaron saves Mikasa and then find out that that's Aaron. And
I knew that was Eren when I was first watching it. There was
Yeah.
because of the way he was fighting other
like it.
Titans.
Yeah.
With Mikasa, I'm like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't kill that kid off.
yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
main character is back. It's not Game of Thrones
Yeah.
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, so he saves them all. That's good. Then all the scouts find out that like, wait a minute, he is Titan. They try to like attack, kill him, and then they come up with the deals like, no, we can close up Wall Maria, with Pixie. Aw, Pixies.
Yeah, Pixie. That was it a Irwin Pixie's decision, or was it just a Pixie's decision?
Pixies, because
Yeah.
Irvin and Scout had gone outside the
Oh,
wall and they
yeah.
had to return early. And I remember when Levi came to, because everybody was saving our like Aaron while he was holding a boulder, and then Levi comes like, does somebody want to tell me who the fuck am I looking at? I was like, Levi, you're so cool.
That's
Levi's
awesome.
so cool.
Damn,
like,
they're
every
lucky
time.
that the scouts were out on a mission, or maybe the scouts were lucky. I don't know.
I don't know. They just overheard. They came, and that's when and then they decide to take Aaron with Levi, leave him behind. And that was my favorite part, like with leaving with Levi, and Levi, like everybody's trying to clean up
Levi.
everything.
I love Levi's energy.
Levi's great. But yeah, that's all happened. Him at the court was great. Like, it's terrifying. Levi beating the shit out of Aaron.
Oh yeah,
Just
their dub group was angry at that.
they were.
It's like, what the fuck is his problem, man?
What did they think about Levi?
Oh, they love him now.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Now.
at first he was kicking Aaron's teeth in with his boot, you know. So
Didn't
they were
like him.
What's the deal? And then they understood that was for show.
No.
Nikki was like, that was still too much. He was enjoying that.
Oh, he probably was. But knowing that Aaron can like heal, be like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hi from Tunisia. Was a reality check season. I love it. Reality check season. First time chat. Thank you so much for coming. All right, cool. So after when I was doing this, there was like a timeline on how long it happened. So Levi gets Aaron. They train with Hanji, and they've tried to figure out. And Hanji's two Titans, Sweeney and Beanie and Bean. They get killed, and they get killed by Annie, that we find out later.
Mm-hmm.
Because and then she uses Marco's ODM gear to pass the test.
And Erwin comes up behind Aaron, and he's all like, "What do you see?
Yeah.
What do you think you see?" I'm like,
Who do you
what
think is
are
the
you talking
enemy
about, man? I don't
here?
know. Espionage and spies? What was I supposed to ascertain from there? And he's talking about Annie. Eventually, like, Erwin had a theory that there was an inside man.
But we were so confused.
Yeah, when we first see it, we're like, okay.
I think we were like, Aaron was like, what's happening? And then afterwards they go on a mission to like retake the Wall Maria. And that mission happens 1 month after Wall Maria, 1 month after Trost District.
Mm-hmm.
Just like looking at the timeline, I'm like, wow, that was actually really fast. Like
Yeah.
after 1 month, that was not too far. And that when they go outside wall to take Shingashina, Sweeney and Bean. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sonny.
And then Annie comes as a female Titan. Like that's when Reiner kind of almost gave himself away.
Mm-hmm.
Because he gets because a Titan. Annie's going after Eren, and obviously nobody know where Eren is beside Armin. And then Reiner was like, "Where is Eren? Tell me all about it."
Mm-hmm.
And then Annie almost catch Eren and Reiner, and almost like squishes Reiner, and then Reiner gets away, and there's a steam around him. And like rewatching was like, that clearly he's re-healing, and we didn't know. We were so confused.
Yeah, the steam was there. I
tells-
thought it was just an animeism, because I was like, there's no way he would have survived that. I was like, what, is this character going to be important later?
Yeah.
He should have been squished. And so it was a nice little hint that something happened there.
Oh yeah, and then Annie turns around and go
Looks
where
at
Eren
him,
is, because he tells her, and it's like, okay, Reiner clearly gets her away. And then when Armin's like trying to figure it out, I was like, makes so much sense, Armin. Put it together.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
Armin's
Armin
pretty
is
smart.
so smart.
It's so
Very
smart.
Especially the early seasons of the show, they wouldn't have gotten as far as they did without Armin.
Oh
People
no.
are giving Armin too much shit.
Mhm.
He's actually my favorite character.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it is because of him they figure out Annie, and they also kind of figure out Reiner and Berthold, and also Ymir, right?
Mhm.
Like he kind of gives them away. Like he doesn't want to believe it, but he does, and that's how. And then we find out. I'm gonna skip through it. Like we find out also Ymir is also a Titan
Mm-hmm.
who loves Historia.
Mm-hmm.
that was interesting when they were trying. It was like, is this what I think is happening? Are they in love or what's? And then Reiner's also going after Historia. Reiner wanted to marry Krista.
Yeah.
Historia was hood goods.
It was like too nice. Like, marry me, I will marry you. I was like, oh, Reiner. I wonder if that will actually happen.
I love the dynamic between Jean and Aaron.
Yeah,
and they're just bickering constantly.
that's so
Oh
good.
yeah,
That was like one of my favorite in the first season.
Jean as a character is so awesome because
Mhm.
he actually has a really good arc. By the
Yeah.
time like they're defending in season 4 against the Titans that like Zeke screamed against, he's such a leader
Mm-hmm.
that like that was what he was hinted at. Like when Marco was talking to him, saying like, "Jean, you're actually a really good leader."
Yeah.
He was gonna go to the military police for the cushy life, and then he took this path. And that I think
Mhm.
Jean is such an underrated character. I kind of wish he had more screen time.
Yeah, it was Marco who was like, "Oh yeah, it's not like you're a great leader because it's not because you're not scared, it's because you are scared. You know, you're like one of us." It's like, oh,
Horse face.
and then Marco dies. It's so sad.
And then he dies again.
Yeah, John is the best guy. Like, I do want John and Mikasa to be together. Honestly, like that would be great. That's when.
That would actually be good.
I mean, that's why when Mikasa walks away to Eren, and that's when John like rubs his like, I'm rubbing my faith in humanity. Like, I can't believe Mikasa likes Eren.
I know.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
They were we on season 2 already?
I think so.
The
Yeah,
female
we're in
Titan,
season
they
2.
captured Annie. Yeah.
So when they captured Annie, I had a question here. You know how like it was Annie was in the internal and there was so much destruction, and then Erwin and Levi kind of just hinted at like that was to save the humanity.
Yeah.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that death and destruction in that district was inevitable and was worth it?
In the town?
Yeah,
And,
in
like,
the town.
interior, yeah.
Stohis. It was Stohis
If there was
district.
no other way to get her, I mean, Erwin's a crazy bastard. He was willing to risk countless lives just to move a centimeter forward, and
Yeah.
if he hadn't, we may not have gotten. I don't think we would have gotten to where we were.
We wouldn't
So
have taken
each
Annie
of those
out
risks
either.
that he took, I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
Even when he was talking to like Niall, one of the other military police guys, and
Yeah,
convincing him
Niall.
like to let us through, like trust me, like it was even up to him because he was the commander of that military police section.
yeah.
So it was all these little tiny decisions that you had to get from other people in those lead command roles, Pixis, Niall. It took their nuanced thinking to kind of move the ball forward. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, I know at this point Armin is still alive and Armin is not Colossal Titan, but if Armin was at a place of Armin, would he have made the same decision? Because they kind of did make a decision together, right? Like Annie is the way. I think it was Armin's.
Armin
was the one who made the
said
decision.
We should take them in the basement.
Yeah, in the
Because
basement.
They can't turn.
Yeah.
Do you mean like, but Colossal Titan, like the decision to bring
The decision
who
to
back?
like attack. I
Oh.
guess
In
he
that
did make a
town,
decision
they
to make
just-
it.
wasn't it Armin's plan?
It was Armin's
Yeah.
plan. I guess their plan was to take Annie in the basement. It didn't happen. At that point, she turned. I guess that was nobody's decision. That destruction was just there.
Yeah.
And they would have gotten her too, but she had that ring because they tied her
Yeah.
hands, but
Yeah.
she was able to.
Yeah,
cut.
because they didn't realize there. But that destruction was sad, and realizing like so many people, that was like first time them seeing Titan because there's such inner wall. They had never seen a Titan before. It was like, oh, this is what they look like. Yes, this is what scouts have been fighting for.
Yeah.
And you just didn't know. Paradox Hermerte's fun fact: the reason why AOT has such well-written female characters because his original inspiration was sci-fi visual novel that had adult content to be more marketable, and therefore had a cast made out of almost exclusively of women. Oh,
That's pretty good. I mean, but it's good on Isayama, right? I mean, he probably got advice from others. Who knows?
I mean, personally, Mikasa sucks.
yeah.
And that's unfortunate because Annie's great, Hanji's great,
Sasha.
Hanji.
Sasha's awesome.
Historia and Ymir's little
Historia's
romance.
Historia's okay. I feel like there's so much. The reason that the female characters are pissing me off in Attack on Titan is that I can see all the potential
Mm-hmm.
and it's not explored to where I would like to see it.
But can you?
I think Hanji's is though. When she
Hanji's-
gets in the leader position, she ends up being just like the people that were put there before her. Kind of sees the cycle.
And she loves the
Yeah.
science.
Yeah.
I will want to give. I'm not a big fan of. I loved Mikasa, but now rewatching it, I don't like Mikasa as much as anymore. Like rewatching it, I don't know if it was because it was dub. In dub, she's just so much of a simp compared to sub. And the only thing benefit doubt I can give her is because she's Ackerman. So maybe she does have that some kind of in her DNA to be protecting the one that she needs to think that she needs to protect. But that was also kind of like when I'm like rewatching it now with the headaches and stuff, like Aaron asked Zeke if that was true, if Ackermans get headache and blah blah, and Zeke was like, I don't think there's any kind of research there, so I don't know how much of that's true. But as an Ackerman, I think that's more for Survivor. I don't know, maybe not. I had better hope for Mikasa, and now not so much. So I will see how the ending happens. So
she's a badass, though. I mean, I think compare Mikasa to like Sakura.
Oh my god!
At least
fuck Sakura.
I know that's a low bar, but
very
look,
low bar.
we liked what the good thing Sakura did. We're not dissing on her as a character. We're dissing on the writing of the character.
Yeah.
And even though Mikasa's a bit of a simp, she's at least like very competent. And besides like running out of gas that one time, she knows what needs to be done. She goes for the kill. I
think I will see what Mikasa does at the end when they try to talk to Eren, because Annie asked Mikasa and Eren like, Armin, what would happen would you guys be able to kill Eren? And they said, we're gonna talk to him. If talking to him doesn't change, what would they do? What would Mikasa do? If Mikasa doesn't do the last killing blow or doesn't even try to attack Eren, that's it.
Tickle him. That's
gonna be my last trying to figure out. But yeah, Mikasa is too much of a simp that I'm like, come on. Westful Isayama definitely did a better job with the most mangakas, but yeah, he still fumbled here and there. Mikasa sucks so much.
I liked Historia's like season 3 character development she got when she went up against her dad. And it gave her some agency. So I think there she was written well, and like instead of just being like a set piece in the show, she took kind of center stage in that arc. And I kind of wish we got more of her after that. We didn't really get much Historia. We haven't even heard her speak in like the whole season 4. Really, we saw image of her pregnant. That's it.
But she took on like the leadership position. She was like
starting orphanages and stuff, and
yeah,
she's a good queen. But like, when do we get to see her?
Yeah,
we haven't seen her in so long.
She's just not part of the action anymore. So she's kind of like, she's dealing with the politics, and we're dealing with the monsters.
Yeah. I want to give Historia benefit of doubt. Like she was grown, she grew up with a mom who didn't want her as a child. In a side where she didn't, like, the only person who talked to her, like, taught her anything was Frida, and Frida will continue erasing her memory every time. So Krista didn't know anything better. And then the priest essentially told her, like, your name is gonna be Krista Lenz, and then go join the scouts. And as a scout, she just wanted to be a hero. And that's when Annie Ymir was like, okay, no, do what you want to do. And it's kind of hard to tell somebody, do what you want to do after so many years trying to please somebody. You're not going to be overnight. It's like, no, I'm going to do this. Like, it's hard to like let go of that. Like, I want to be pleasing people. I want to be a hero. And then she being a queen. And she stepped up pretty quickly. It was like afterwards, like, oh, let me do the killing blow against my dad. And thank God she didn't go after, like, because her dad was coward. World's famous Sasha #1, 2 Hanji, 3 Mikasa, based solely on fighting ability, not a fan of the simp qualities, 4 Ymir, 5 Peak.
Oh, that dub voice, bro. That dub. Her voice in the dub is just something else. Something out of this world. Yes.
I didn't notice that.
Nikki and Rona were staring at me. I'm like, whatever. Y'all are simping over Aaron's gallbladder, not gallbladder. What do you call this thing? Adam's apple. Gallbladder's here. Gallbladder. Simping over gallbladders and Adam's apples, and I can't say Peak has a sexy voice.
I didn't even notice.
She has a really sexy voice in the dub. That's all.
Anchor X. Funny. People calling Mikasa simp, but Eren saved her when she was very young and her family was massacred. True, he did. But also, I think Mikasa's surviving instinct came through. But that's. Could you simp over somebody from that long?
You feel like you might owe it to that person for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, for her, she has abandonment issue because she was dumped. She like constantly kept losing people until Eren, and like she was like, if he wasn't there, like God knows what would happen to her at that point.
That's true.
And I mean, she's where she is because of him, and he's like, because of her attachment issues, like he is the main, like
Circle,
the world revolves around him for her.
And their mom
him.
or Aaron's mom said take care of him.
Yeah.
You know? So it was. I understand why she's simpy. That's all. But,
but I mean, it's not really like the simpiness. It's not what's like off-putting for me. It's just really that she never says anything. She never stands up for anything unless it's Eren. Like the fact that is the only thing about her is what's disappointing for me, because she is a badass. Like, you know, she can take care of business. Why wouldn't she care about, like, what is her favorite color? Is it whatever Eren's favorite color is?
It's red.
What is her favorite food? Is it whatever Eren's favorite food is? Like, that's the kind of person she seems to me.
Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows? Okay,
What?
never mind.
No, I haven't.
You're
right, because in the end, when like people ask her, like, do you wanna, like, are you gonna take up leader role? Like in the end, very end, when a rumbling is happening and Armin's gonna go after Connie to save Falco, and then Mikasa just told her, like, what should I do? It's like, and then Armin's like, do what you wanna do.
But
like and she's so lost.
So she loves him. And you do crazy stuff for the person you love. I know love is a cheesy, maybe cop-out sounding answer, but you know, he saved her life. Like, taught her to tatake, you know?
And she saved his life
taught her how to tatake.
She saved her life so many times. Like, she is such a... She can be Levi... She is Levi level badass. When Levi and Mikasa were going after female Titan to save Eren, those two duos are... crazy. And she just, like, her weakness, her kryptonite is Eren.
DK Mr. Fly, I also think that I heard what you said. The weakest is Eren, but I also think they brushed past her little royalty thing, or being connected to, like, this royal family, the Azumabitos and whatever. Like, I think in the anime they didn't show the same symbol because they changed it. Japanese people is, like, frowned upon to have tattoos. So in the manga, you see the actual symbol on the Azumabitos and stuff, but in the anime, it's something else. I don't know what it is.
It's like a kind of thing.
They kind of brush past it, and then it's like, oh, hey, we're visiting. Oh, Mikasa, you're the last of this royal lineage. That's it. It's just like, what was that? I don't know. It just felt randomly, quickly rushed and told us that this was a thing, and then it hasn't been brought up yet.
I think a lot of things season 4 were kind of rushed.
Maybe.
Like, a lot of things were brushed, and I think season 4, you're right with that one, and because Historia was so happy, it was like, oh, like, I have a friend, like, we have 2 other royalties together, and that's it, and nobody wants to mention it anything more than that. But so I mean, just going after that, like, just continue going. We find out who Reiner and Bertolt are. That reveal, how was that reveal with Dub? I know our reveal was like, they just said something? What? What? Like, they're walking with, like, what?
It still
no subtitles already.
Catches you.
End credits.
It still catches you off guard. Rana and Pat happen to just be talking about Zeke or something. The monkey titan.
Oh, they missed it.
They missed it. Nikki was the one that was like... Because it still happens in a very nonchalant way.
It does.
Like, he's just
talking, very
nonchalant. Like, I don't know if you see it in the dub. He's like, I'm the armored titan. Bertolt's the colossal. And then it just cuts to Hanji and they're talking. It just happens very... kind of like the sub. With the sub you're reading, though, and it seems like a mistranslation. But the dub does, like, 2 conversation overlapping kind of happens. And it's like, wait. But it's interesting because, like, not rewatching dub, at that point, Hanji and them and, like, Eren are aware that what Reiner and Bertolt might be. So they were kind of walking away knowing that this would kind of happen. So, like, finding that out, that it wasn't really a big reveal. Like, it was a big reveal because they confirmed, but they kind of had suspicion who Reiner and Bertolt were. But revealed to us still in that like episode.
Oh, to us,
we were sus on them because we saw that reveal happen nonchalantly, and then in the anime, at least, they show the flashback of, like, we're suspecting them.
We're suspecting them.
So it was still a big betrayal. Probably one of the top 3 moments of the whole show, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
That whole reveal.
I think for us, like, Ben and Hannah were there, and they had seen the manga, so they were just watching our reaction, and we were just like, wait, did I read that correctly?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait,
what?
what?
Yeah. And then Ymir. So my question on that one, it's going to be like Ymir left with them, and she gets eaten by who's a jaw titan?
But Porco.
Not Porco. It starts with G.
Galliard.
Galliard.
Porco Galliard.
So Ymir must know that's what's gonna happen, right? So why did she leave with them? Because she wanted to go home, the home that kicked her out as a prisoner. I was really confused. Like even rewatching it and knowing what I knew, it's like, oh, why Ymir? Like you could have just stayed behind and could have stayed with Historia.
When you think about it, that would have been the better option. She just chose wrong. She was like, I'm gonna choose the devil I know. Because she was like, who knows what's going to happen if I submit here. But look at Eren. Like, they're at least trying to see what Eren can do. I feel like she could have worked something out.
She could have worked something
scouts.
out, especially being so close to Krista.
Yeah.
I was definitely sad when Ymir died.
Yeah.
It was very quick, too. Kind of, I wouldn't say throwaway, but they did kind of brush past it. I don't think it needed more context because we got a good goodbye from her. She wrote a letter to Historia. So showing it the way they did kind of shows like how absolutely discarded she was to them, how irrelevant she was to Marley. It's like, oh no, you're just a vessel for the next one.
No, for sure. Oh my god,
It was so sad because like she also like that's kind of like mirror to how she was discarded by her people.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, she's the reason the cult was built. Did you guys watch OVAs?
I only watched like 2 or 3.
So we didn't watch OVA because when I was writing this up, there's a whole summary and there was in between there were scenes like I don't remember watching this like sub or dub, and come to find out those were OVAs. So OVAs had a meaningful
some stuff. Yeah, we saw the Levi No Regrets OVA. Saw one of the Annie ones. We saw some of them, but there were a few I think we did not watch.
There's like some Ilsa's notebook.
Yes, I love that one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but there was
great.
a whole story where she met some like talking Titan.
Yeah.
And then Levi and Hanji found the notebook and all of it. And then there was
that
one.
Was so great.
Was it? And there's another one like Annie goes find this
we saw
girl who's trying to create drugs, like selling drugs.
It was just like an Annie's Day Out adventure, really.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much
Annie's
canon
Day Out.
stuff in it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because like there was a lot of I need to watch this OVS. I haven't seen any of them, but now I know the story.
She didn't meet with Kenny. The whole Annie Kenny thing was so random.
Yeah,
I love Kenny.
Yeah,
Kenny's great. His dub voice is really good because he's just a cowboy. So, you look at you, Levi. You're a little runt now. That's great.
Yeah, Kenny was great. So we find out Kenny's Levi's uncle. The whole Ackerman. So it's just Levi and Mikasa left. You know what? Realized like till then, I was like, why did nobody make a connection that Mikasa and Levi has same like last name? But Levi just went with Levi. He didn't have a last name.
By Ackerman.
Like he didn't know he was Ackerman until like Kenny tells him after whole Reese things happen with Historia. It's like, oh, okay, so your last name is Ackerman.
That would have been a cool reveal for me, but at that point, I was already into the show, and I'd seen online Mikasa Ackerman written out and Levi Ackerman written out.
Oh,
So
same.
like, whenever that reveal was supposed to organically happen, I already knew that was both their last names. So I don't even,
So that was like when they tried to save Eren because Eren gets captured, obviously. Historia from the Reese's, Rod Reese, and Rod Reese turns into Titan, this big ass Titan who keeps going after, like, who just goes after a wall, and then Levi finds Kenny somewhere almost dead, and then Kenny gives Levi another like one last Titan syringe, and that's when he tells him, like, kind of just tells him that I'm your uncle, and that's when Levi's like, oh, so I'm Ackerman. And at that point, and I just realized, because I was watching the whole thing, it's like, that makes sense, because they just kept saying Levi the whole time.
Yeah.
It was just Levi. Like, they never used last name. Yeah, Captain Levi, old Levi. Even with the summary, it was just Levi. And then afterwards, it started saying Levi Ackerman. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
I kind of missed that, dude. But, like, I remember it in dub. It's like, oh, this is a big deal. Like, big reveal. Also, I forgot a lot of things, too, at that point.
Yeah.
Get it!
I think it kind of highlights that it doesn't matter. Like Ackerman doesn't matter, or Azuma Bita doesn't matter, because aliens rule the world.
But I mean, the Ackermans are very skilled though. They got some like supernatural talent to them.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like in the grand scheme of things, like they still have to fight Eren,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and Eren is seemingly unstoppable right now.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm gonna go past. There's a coup d'etat happens.
Oh yeah.
A whole thing.
Yeah, people don't like that.
No?
In the anime, like people consider that the slow part of season 3, and for me, I really like that stuff.
I
'cause
really liked it.
It shows the politics, and it's like, such important context where things happen later, and then the scouts take over, and they do the same things, withholding information, and
Yeah.
it was maybe a slow arc because we just got 2 seasons of we gotta fight Titans, and then beginning of season 3 is just like humans are the enemy now. We got to do this military coup. It was super important for the story, but I see why people that came for Titan action might have been a little bit like, that was boring.
Well, there's more to the story than just us killing Titans.
Exactly.
No, I think I remember watching it and be like, oh, wait, we are fighting human beings now? Like, what's happening? Like, I will say, I was very confused from their part to like season 4. I was like, what is happening? Who are these people? Like, who is like Gabi and all? I was like, what's happening here?
Mm.
I love how shook all the people from Paradis were when they found out that there's like weapons against people.
Yeah.
They were like, we're trying to save humanity here. Why are y'all killing each other?
Yeah. Why is
That
that a
was
thing?
such a like a concept that they just couldn't understand, and it just showed how like naive and like ignorant they were of the world.
Yeah.
Not by choice.
Yeah. Then essentially, like, we have a like battle in Shingashina with the Beast Titan. That was the whole thing. And then Armin gets Colossal Titan.
That top 2. Actually, top 1. I think that's the best episode in all anime.
Dude, Levi coming there and trying to kill. Oh my god! And then they have it was like Irvin took over 100 scouts with him. So that's how many, like, over 100 people died in that whole Shingashina war. And it's just
what is Bulka Jones's name?
Who?
It was like
Flock?
Yelena?
Hitch like had a crush on this dude. He's in like the end of season 1. He's in the interior, but then he joins the scouts in season 3. Marlo. He's such a minor character, just gets obliterated in that charge, like with the rest of the scouts, and just to. I like that because it kind of showed how
survives.
What's his name?
Flock.
Yeah.
Flock survives, bringing Arvin, and then that was a whole thing.
That was Flock's turning point.
And that was a difficult decision, picking Arvin over Armin. It made sense picking Armin, because I think even then Arvin had kind of given the reins over to Armin, because when they were over the wall and trying to figure out what's happening, Arvin was like, Armin, what do you think about it? And Armin was like, let's knock the walls, like, to see where Burnhole and Reiner are living. So he had kind of given over, but...
So I have a question for you guys. If they had picked Erwin, I think they made the right decision, but it's hard because Erwin has the battle experience and the commander experience, so who knows what would have happened. If they would have picked Erwin, do you think Erwin would have been a Jaegerist behind Eren, or would he have been on the side of like Armin and Mikasa and all them? In a way, I think he got off easy because Erwin's only goal was to figure out the history behind the Titans and like understand what was being kept from us. He didn't get any of the hard questions like, what do we do now? Now that we know who the enemy is, why they're attacking us, and all the backstory, he got off easy. So I don't know what he would have done. I don't think they showed us enough context as to what Erwin would have done.
I would have said that he wouldn't have been Jaegerist, because in the end of the day, he was fighting for humanity. And I don't think he would have, because he was fighting Titans and knowing that he himself has the Eldian blood, I think that he would have tried somehow to save the humanity. But I don't know. The sad thing was, like, Erwin made hard decisions, not because he was a devil, because he had to be, because he needed to be making those decisions. And Armin did at some point in time, but he wasn't happy about it. We just didn't hear how Erwin felt. I'm pretty sure Erwin had like a lot of doubts in his mind too, but we never heard it. I don't know. What do you think?
I can't talk.
I
can't talk
it's
right now.
so hard.
I know.
Really?
I don't want to like
Yeah.
spoil anything.
A lot of people say Erwin would have been a Jaegerist, but then I've seen people in the chat say like, nah, he definitely would have been. I don't know. I say I don't know. They didn't show us enough about Erwin's character to
Yeah, we didn't see
let
his
us know.
thought process.
He was mainly concerned about finding the truth within the walls, and that happened. And then
And I mean, we don't know what that truth would unleash in him.
yeah.
That's true. It's very difficult. I also like there was a question posed like what would have happened if he had picked Erwin. I don't know about Jaegers. That would be a good question to ask. But I don't think any decisions made from there on out would have been any different. Because whatever decisions Armin made, they all seemed something that Erwin would have made as well. And the point is, Armin doesn't like being Colossal Titan, or like having so many people killed underneath him. But Erwin would have been fine, and we just wouldn't have heard what Erwin was thinking in his head.
Yeah,
and we'd be like, "Oh, Erwin is fine." So Slimmery, Erwin, I think, was willing to sacrifice people for history, but I feel like when he understood the truth, he would have risked more lives to just be the dominant race.
Wouldn't risk more lives.
Wouldn't risk more lives to just be a dominant race. Yeah, and that's like from there on.
Strategically, that's a solid choice.
Strategically, to be a dominant race.
I mean, they already are, but they're being suppressed.
Yeah,
and clearly, those are the choices they have.
Yeah, let's cover season 4 and then get into the grand debate to end all debates.
Yeah, I think that's where like from there on we find out who Marlins are.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole raid on Liberio, and Erwin gets War Titan. Just when Talbur, what was it that who had Warhammer Titan, War Titan?
Oh, Tiber.
Tiber family they were like, okay, let's attack the parody, and then obviously Eren goes haywire.
One thing real quick from this part that even I missed and had to see some comments from the dub group was Willie Tiber and Commander McGath's conversation before like that big shit went down in Liberio. Basically, Marley had gotten war hungry with like all the dominance, and McGath was actually trying to give them a taste of war so they wouldn't be so war hungry. So it was him and Tiber actually had a very nuanced thinking of trying to pull Marley out of the war and make them less reliant on Titans. But then I guess Tiber made the decision that he wanted to become a martyr or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There was a little bit more nuance there that I feel like gets brushed past easily.
But I think there was other thing. Like I remember Magat, whatever. They were talking about it, but I think the way I took it, not the conversation with Tiber, but the conversation he was having with Zeke and the other commanders, like we need to stop relying on Titans, which made sense. But the way I took it, like, okay, if they're gonna stop relying on Titans, then whatever benefit they're getting from Eldia, they're not gonna have any of it. So what would stop them from, like, what would they do with Titans?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that was the other scary part. It's like, what would happen to them?
The moment I was done with Marley was very early on.
Yeah.
And it was when they had those, like, they were up in the air in those, like, the air balloons.
Battleship,
and just,
whatever,
like,
yeah.
dropping Eldians and slicing them and, like, turning them into Titans. And I was just,
they were just
like...
kamikaze sacrificing them, yeah.
I'm, like, done. That was, like, the most inhumane, vile shit I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah. I think that, and I was done when, it's a different thing telling somebody, like, this is what your ancestors did, but then continue calling them devil.
You were doing almost, like, worse than that.
Yeah, and you calling them devil, and the people were like, oh my god, you rubbed against me. It's like, what is happening? Like, the whole propaganda, I
like the military, being in the military, though, in some characters' viewpoints, transcends the need to pick a side. Like, I would say even, like, McGath, he cares deeply for, like, Gabby and Falco and shit.
Yeah.
Even though he knows that, like, who knows what might become to them. If Titans became obsolete and they decided to genocide the Liberio Eldians, I feel like McGath would have been against that. And even when Peek is talking to Gabby later on, she's like, I don't trust Marley like one bit. I don't trust the Eldians, but I trust the people I fought beside.
Yeah.
So I do like that like kind of that military take is in there. Like you trust your brothers and sisters in arms, then you do like the politics and the bureaucracy or whatever.
Yeah, we can just go from here. Like, Eren takes War Titan. Like, apparently, Eren and Zeke made a pact that they will euthanize Eldia, but that's not what Eren wanted. Eren wanted to start the rumbling to show the world, essentially, save Parody and kill everybody else because he loves his friends and he wanted to do whatever is needed to save them so they live long life. Essentially, what it comes down to with very high level. And let's talk about that. Like,
this is the grand debate.
There's a grand debate.
There was bloodshed in the Discord this past weekend over this exact debate.
Where Discord? Which one?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, Attack on
Titan. And then Dub spoilers.
To
Discord.
genocide or not to genocide? Is that
euthanize or not
just
euthanize?
Like, in general, like your take on whether you are allowed to root for Eren or not. Like in this, because you follow him as a character. Can you still enjoy what Eren is doing and be opposed to genocide? Do those two things exist? Or do you have to have the take of like, no, I'm absolutely against Eren. You cannot side with him. You cannot understand where he came from type of thing.
I will say that there's one aspect of the story that kind of ruins this debate. And it's the predestiny. When it kind of feels like he didn't actually have a choice. And it kind of like ruins any debate to have because like then he didn't have a choice. It was not his choice. He's just
You're talking about like how the Attack Titan can see what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it was always going to happen.
Yeah,
or whatever,
so like Eren just being on this path that he doesn't want to be on, but having to do it.
I would agree with you if the story didn't purposely say Eren did this. Like even if it was timey-wimey shit that kind of doesn't make sense, or it's the grandfather paradox or bootstrap paradox or whatever, where like what came first. They have said multiple times in the show that like Eren decided this, and even Eren was explaining to Zeke, I've always been this way. I've always sought after freedom. If someone took freedom from me, I'm taking theirs. Like that's just who he is. So I'm gonna take it for the story that this is Eren's like,
doing it
decision.
And I think the also question that gets posed: what is freedom? Like, it's the freedom is that you are the only race there, and that's where it comes down to, right? Like Eldia, if the Eldian's the only one there, and there's no threat anywhere from anyone else, you are free. That's your freedom. But it's such a hard debate to have because I do understand where Eren is coming from.
That right there upsets people that were even. And to me, that is part of the point of the story, though.
It is
to show how slippery of a slope it is to this, or you know what I mean, how people are driven to this.
Yeah. So like, I see where his anger is coming from. Like, let's go from there. I see where Eren anger is coming from because people in Marley or all the world consider Parody a devil without even knowing who they were. They put Parody on this separate island. They're inside the wall. They don't know shit about rest of the world because Fritz erased their memory. So, but the whole world is so scared of them that they will start the rumbling that they consider them devils and they wanted them to be eradicated. I think at that point, Fritz should have somehow had a communication with rest of the world, like, hey, this is what I've done to my people.
Yeah.
Like, they have erased their memory. They don't know shit. What you can send all the rest of the Eldians here as well. Like, send all the Eldians to these paradise so they live here. We're not gonna do shit to you, and you delete us from your books. Delete us from your books that Eldia ever existed. We will live on this island peace-free.
Even if Fritz did that, like, the onus isn't even on King Fritz within the walls to do that. I think like sending an emissary or someone, send like a single person with a white flag.
Yeah,
they're not gonna be eaten. If they are, they knew what might happen to them. Like messenger or a letter or something like some communication beforehand, like, hey, what's the deal now? It's been 100 years. Are you guys still just completely fucking off?
Yeah.
You still want to do the rumbling? And then
something like that. But I think people were
like,
just,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, people were just so scared, and then they had Eldians in other in other camps where they were treated as a devil, and they were just sprouting that hate over and over again, where they could have been like, just send all the Eldians here and sell all the Titans here. But I don't think that's what Marlians would have never given away Titans. So they would have never given away the other Eldians either, because they were power hungry. So if they're power hungry and they're power hungry because of Titans and they hate Titans at the same time, they could have never lived at peace. It's like everybody having a nuclear, you could just have a peace treaty, somehow written a peace treaty. I don't know what the answer is.
Shoulda,
like,
coulda, woulda, but what happened. They, when the wall got breached, there's Aaron's motivation right there. His mom gets eaten. I don't know,
eaten by a Titan that Marlin's released.
Yes.
Like the whole, like the
that was also related to her.
Yeah.
To him.
Yeah, and like it was also royal blood, and that's when he found out the power of a founding Titan when he like tried to punch Smiling Titan. But even then, like, was there a peace within the walls? Because there were discrepancy between rich and poor. I guess that will happen anywhere. But there was peace.
The entirety of the scouts was created to find out what the F was going on, which the king had to know. Who, like, the royal family knew these whole scout regiment was created, and they're just dying, and like, we could tell them, but we're not gonna tell them.
We're not gonna tell them.
It's safer for everybody, but
they will just.
The scouts did what they do, and they found out, and it was their own damn fault, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's hard to put blame entirely on any single faction.
So I guess where I'm at, sorry, I will let you talk. Where I'm at, if there was that peace treaty discussion happen. At minimum, I think that's what Armin and Mikasa wants to do with Eren right now. They want to see if they can talk. They talk. Eren doesn't agree with it. Then what? I guess then you either have to kill Eren. They have to. They can't go back. But if peace treaty had happened at a bigger scale where Eren is like, this is what we're going to do, and they didn't agree, then showing that you can do rumbling with the small portion, sure. How long does that go on?
Until, theoretically, until Parody could build up their military defenses more.
I guess
like the soft rumbling would have bought them like 50 to 100
I
years.
would have expanded the gates, like, do outside of it to show the scare, but then what's stopping the rest of the world to build weapons that are even more stronger?
Shit, we'll let out another little tiny rumbling. If the tiny rumbling was enough to devastate the Marleyan army, just the army, the rest of the world will be like, all right, yeah, we're not fucking with that.
Yeah, like, that's where we ended. I was like, okay, that's it. Are we gonna go back now? Like, we can show you what rest can be done. Like, if Eren goes back from there, that would have been fine. I think, he just stepped on it. He killed the Global Alliance army, whatever. Like, yeah, that's it. But since he's continued going, and that's when I'm not okay with it, because then you are creating genocide, like you killing everybody else.
Someone made a good observation that at the beginning of the series, Eren and everybody thought they were all that was left of humanity, like that was it, and now like he's making it a reality. Like he wants them to be all that's left of humanity.
Yeah, and they were like, we can't be the only one. We have to. And now they found out there were more. I was like, now let's kill them all.
Katanamus, is there anything you can add on to this without spoiling the spoilies? Maybe go from the reference point of what you knew before you read the manga.
I think I think that if I lived in that universe, first of all, I'd be dead in season 1. But if I made it all the way to where we are now, I would definitely side with Hanji's point of view, where, she understands Eren, but she's like, that's stupid, don't kill everybody. Like, because then you are just, like, you hate Marley because they are abusing and killing Eldians left and right, but you want to eradicate them all. It doesn't make you any better. I'm just categorically against it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, just the concept of genocide.
I think Eren, like...
I understand Eren wanting to do it. I understand why. I understand why he has followers. Absolutely. But I would not be following him.
Yeah, genocide is bad.
Yeah.
There are always other options, Just kill the Marleyan army.
Yeah.
If you control them, just have, I don't know, the Titans in the walls just posted up outside of every major military zone. Be like, just try something. I don't know. There was other options. I feel like Eren, and this is my theory, don't spoil anything. I feel like Eren, he wanted Mikasa and Armin to be pissed at him when he talks shit to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe he's doing this to get them to stop him, and then the rest of the world will be like, oh, Eldians stopped it from happening. So, like, we can maybe give these folks a chance.
See, that would be great. If Mikasa and Armin do come to that point, they try to talk and they kill him and they stop it.
Yeah.
Would make sense, because then Eren is following the path that's laid out in front of him. The only way for him to stop is somebody else to intervene.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it comes down to. So, like, somebody has to intervene, but then what happens with the paradox? Like, if... Is that Nico?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I thought it was the pipes.
That's...
Like, oh, it's
oh.
Nico. Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm just curious to see what the next two parts are. Like, it's so hard not to read the manga because I really wanna know what actually happens. But it's a very good philosophical question that this show poses, and I'm sad that Dub Crew is not getting into it, because I think that's what this show is. The show wants you to discuss that philosophical question, like, where are you now?
Also, like, people saying, like, Suraj, why are you more of a Jaegerist in the Dub Crew? I feel like even in the sub crew, I was on Eren's side up until the genocide shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like you could reasonably side with Eren and say, like, I'm just gonna trust him. I think he knows what he's doing. He's keeping some things close to his chest, obviously.
So was Armin
we don't know
believing
everything.
that. Yeah.
And so, I was essentially in Armin's viewpoint.
Yeah.
And till the genocide thing, then I'm like, all right, you got too far, bro.
Yeah.
You can't.
And that's where, like, Armin was till then, until he was like, wait a minute, he's dropping down all the walls.
Yeah.
He's going too far. And I was like, you are going too far. Like, you could have shown a little bit of rumbling. I mean, even then, like, you got to the Marleys and then turned back around. Son, turn back around. I don't know, because I think one good thing to say, like, I absolutely hate Gabi.
I was gonna say
her.
At the end of the day, she's a good character.
She's a good.
At the end of the day, she's a necessary character.
But she turns around, like, in the, like.
I don't understand.
She is worse in dub. Dude,
I don't care. Okay, she has
she's
terrible
meant to be.
voice,
She's
but,
meant
like,
to be
no. As a character,
she's meant to be.
I think she is worse, but she turns around in the end when, like, she hears Kaya to be like, they're devils. I want to kill them all. I was like, okay, and then she realized she's been saying the same thing. It's like, so Gabi does turn, and, like, if Gabi can turn, then all of everybody, there is a hope that we can make everybody see the one point. The thing that I don't like about Gabi is, like, Kaya takes them in, and Falco is trying so hard for Gabi to see, like, this is how it is. Like, we, like, slightly, it was like, hey, you need to, like, listen to it. They're giving us food, like, eat it. She's just so concerned that she still, like, wanted to, like, she was okay with killing everybody else. Like, she was just so head-bent. Like, I know it's a propaganda that changed Gabi's viewpoint, but like, she's a great shooter. I will have to say, she is a really, really good shooter. She was all about being a warrior, and she is manipulated, makes total sense. But
she is a child.
So was Falco.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
and they are from the same environment, but that doesn't matter that like, the environment has affected them both.
But
like,
Falco wasn't same as Gabi. Falco tried to make Gabi understand.
People are different.
So,
true.
They're different people, and they accepted these things differently. Where Falco has the ability to conceptualize and things outside of the box, and, like, when new facts are presented to him, he's able to comprehend them.
And Gabi didn't.
Whereas Gabi doesn't. Yes, that makes her stupid.
Yeah, she
but
is.
But that doesn't make her evil.
I'm not saying she's evil. I hate her. She's stupid. I didn't say she's evil.
She's annoying, but
she's annoying.
But her character is completely necessary.
Her turn, I think, is important to indicate
that,
like, children are formidable. And, like, it's dangerous to use children like this, because, like, they will believe whatever you say if you're an authority. Yeah. But, like, I don't agree what you said that, like, other people can change, because, like, I feel like at a certain point, like, you're an adult human being. If you think genocide is acceptable, then I feel really bad for you.
Yeah.
No, what I meant is like if we can turn Gabi around with showing like not everybody is devil, maybe there is a way that you could talk to everybody else who thinks the Eldian are devil that no, we are just people like you.
The genocide argument, and I'll go back to the Gabi thing. Also, it's like genocide or be genocided. You know what I mean? The Eldians are going to be wiped out if they don't. Like,
No,
you know what I
people
mean?
just
Like
need to
they declared war. The whole world declared
down
war on them.
and sit at a table.
So like, I don't think so, man. I think it's either the Eldians would have been genocided or Eren did this as how it was presented in the story. At least I think we can come up with other things, but as far as the Gabi thing, she externalized all of the hatred towards her as an Eldian, and she needed to believe that in order to be a good Eldian.
Mm-hmm.
Falco actually came from the Grease family. And his dad was actually, as an Easter egg, is in the Eldian restoration movement. He's in those episodes of Grisha.
Yeah.
And then they revealed that Colt and Falco joined the warrior candidate thing because their dad got ridiculed for being a restorationist. So they're trying to make up for their family name by joining the warriors. So Falco could be coming at this whole perspective with that in mind. Like, well, they punished my family. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're different characters and coming at it from a different perspective. But Gabi is, I think, supposed to be annoying. I think so. But she's a completely necessary character as far as, like, you need to see why, like, people like that are brainwashed and, like, how it could become that way.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that Gabi is evil. I'm just saying, like, her and Falco, if you compare two of them, they both got same propaganda, whereas Falco was able to take the new information and change it, while Gabi was just so head-bent that even the people like Kaya, who's trying to feed them, being so nice, and still saw them as devil. It's like, girl,
she
like,
wants to be Marley so bad.
Yeah,
you gotta
She's
hear her dub
adopting-
voice.
Oh, she actually,
She's
honestly,
adopting
she
their
is
manners.
horrible as in dub. Like
She sounds like this. Kitty, I'm Gabby, and I sound like this.
Yes, she does.
And it's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's like
So
it's
she has
sub.
high blood pressure.
Yeah, it's sub. I didn't care. Like wasn't. I think in sub I think I was with Gabi. I remember like people hating Gabi. It was like, oh no, I understand where she's going. And that was like, girl, calm down. Listen to what Falco is saying. Listen to what Kaya is trying to do. Like, listen, like Brock's family, you killed their daughter, and they're like trying to take you in, and like the whole time, I was like, Gabi, like, come on. Yeah, but like even and like when she turns around, like, see, like,
You
look.
see it in Sasha's dad's face when Niccolo is like, here, kill Gabi, take this knife, and Gabi's like, do it, you guys are dirty Eldians, and like kudos to the animators, they drew Sasha's dad's face in such a way where he's like, oh god, this poor child,
like there's no,
they don't know any better. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
she's
gonna
just
kill
like
this
a
kid.
little
She's just,
feral cat.
Yeah.
Like on the loose.
yeah, but it's
But she's just a kid with a big ass sniper rifle, though, you know.
dude, and she is a great shooter. Like, killed Sasha, like tore Aaron's head off. Like, yeah, she has guts for sure. For somebody who's like a brainwash, she has so much guts. Like, she can do a lot of damage.
Her entry onto the show was amazing.
God,
How she like fooled the military men.
yeah.
She's like, I'm just an innocent child.
Yeah.
Oh no, she like yeah. If Gabi turns like if she had like a war I think if she had turned to warrior, I mean she is a warrior, but if she got an armor titan, I don't know, she would have changed because she would have had Reiner's memories.
Though we know what we know about Gabi, because I just saw the episode where, you know, she shoots Aaron's head off.
Yeah.
I showed you the dub's reaction, and I went back and I showed them the sub reaction.
Yeah.
And all of us also, when it's revealed that she's aiming, we're all like, Gabi, you dumbass! Like, because we're still on Aaron's side. All of us, I think, we're just like, fuck you, Gabi. So it's the way the story presented her character was in a way to make us frustrated.
Oh, for sure.
To her.
Yeah.
But like, you know, knowing what we know now, it's like, all right, thank you, Gabi. Finally, you're coming to your senses.
You're coming to your senses.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the same time, I was like, Aaron, don't touch Zeke. But at the same time, we want to know what happens.
I told Dustin not to censor that part because Nikki's is screaming,
You dumb bitch!
so funny. The show makes you feel emotions regardless, and that's what any good show should do.
Yeah.
It should also spark debate about real world instances, and that's what it does. Don't do genocide. It's bad. Even if you're about to get genocided, don't do genocide. Is that what the lesson is?
We
Accept your genocide.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a like.
I think that the lesson is if you finally end up in a position of power, you should make better decisions than your oppressor.
Mm-hmm. And also like don't believe propaganda. Like if you continue believing somebody did something like 100, 2,000 years ago, and now that makes them like their predecessors devil, like that's not really true. What ancestors did doesn't mean it's true for the predecessors.
Yes, and there's a dumbass comment about like, Suraj, like you're bringing that up, so why don't you talk about how white people are being blamed for slavery like these days? And I'm like, how do I even approach this? First of all,
they did it.
You did it, and second of all, no one is pointing at you saying you are a slave owner, or like you deserve to be punished for the crimes of your ancestors. What we're asking, or what people I think are asking, is for you to have understanding of why there's a disparity between Black Americans and everyone else, because they've had an uphill battle since the end of slavery and since the civil rights movement, and all that has been a breadcrumb battle for them. So we're asking white people to understand why things are stacked up against Black folks, not, hey, it's your fault, like that slavery happened. No,
modify history
understand
books.
Why things are
don't be modifying history books. Like people should learn from their mistakes.
Should learn the history and then go from there. It's interesting. Don't be racist. Don't be racist. Like so
at the end of the day, don't be racist.
All right, I think we are good. This was a good discussion. It's just so much. I mean, there was still so much that we didn't get through. There's just no way.
Nah.
There's so intricate, like Ymir, all the things that happen with Ymir, like a founding titan, her being eaten by her daughters. There's a whole like with Maria, Cena, Rose, but I know we don't know. That's where we are. Continue talk, and we will come back again once after watching Attack on Titan. Like, so what do we know now? I still don't know shit.
I know. I finished the show. You don't know shit.
You don't know shit.
All right. Even know.
So we are rating Spencer. Who are we rating?
Shadow Legends.
Ooh. All right.
Fitzy.
Give the normies and their regards. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Great, y'all.
Have a good day.
Because it's about time.
Everyone.
Don't commit genocide. Yes. Take it away. Tell your parents. Tell your cousins.
Secret Girls Club.
And every time I was like, I just gotta listen to this.
Super Secret Girls Club.